Call of Duty Advanced Warfare 2 will be the greatest Call of Duty game of all time if it comes out. So the internet exploded the other day about rumors of AW2 coming out in 2025, but before I get into why this will be the greatest COD game of all time, we have to get into the most infamous game of all time in COD history, which was Advanced Warfare 1. So Advanced Warfare 1 was ahead of its time, and you might be thinking, what do you mean? I truly believe that this game was ahead of its time because of how technologically advanced it actually was. People look back on Advanced Warfare 1 and they complain that it wasn't boots on the ground, that it started the jetpack era that nobody liked, and it was also, what didn't help it was it came off of COD Ghosts, which was, a lot of people considered the downfall of Call of Duty in that era. Advanced Warfare 1 was ahead of its time. People just were not ready for this game. PCs weren't a thing, 60 FPS was the max. It was 2014, I believe, when this game came out, and trust me when I say internet today is much better than internet back then. What do I mean by internet? I literally mean like internet, like download speeds, upload speeds. This plays a huge factor because this game was totally built to be a high FPS game. Like, just think about all of the jump movements and the strafe movements with the jetpack, how fast-paced things were. This game was meant to be on 280 hertz on a PC with fire internet, and this game was just ahead of its time, I'm telling you. Another thing about this game was the customization and the issues around it, but also the best part about it? A lot of people remember Advanced Warfare as being one of the best customizable games of Call of Duty history because you could just change everything, your helmet, your chest plates or whatever it was, your pants and everything, and there were so many things you could do and so many things you could put on. But the issue there was that it was like the loot box era, so you had to buy a loot box to get some of the stuff that you wanted, and you couldn't earn it, and it was the whole thing where you'd have to buy so many boxes, and even that doesn't guarantee you to get something that you'd want that someone else has. People just hated that. It was also like the CSGO loot box era, I think, where, I'm not going to get into that. But certain guns would only be attainable by loot boxes too, and that was just like unfair advantages. Think Obsidian Steed and the ASM-1 thing. Here, I'll put it on screen. But yes, those guns were unbelievable. The only way you could get them was loot boxes, so you couldn't even earn it, which was horrible. Just in general, the customization was absolutely epic in that game. Zombies was epic. Okay, zombies in this game is underrated. No one ever talks about it. Whatever that burger map was, fire. The DNA lab thing, fire. I love that map. I won't get into the campaign too much. I don't remember much of it, but I think it was kind of cool. I remember the criticisms back in the day was people couldn't connect with the main teams, I should say, or the antagonists and protagonists. People couldn't really relate to them, and I think that was the criticism back then. It was people wanted modern warfare back then, like boots on the ground, modern warfare. It was just too early for Advanced Warfare. So if people considered it at the time to not be a great game, then why will Advanced Warfare 2 be even close to being good? And I'm going to answer this in the best way possible that I think I can, and why I think so many people are hyped about it. One of the first things is the technological advances of just general society nowadays. You might not think that was such a super long time ago, but in reality, internet is way better. Most of people I feel are playing on PCs, they're not as on console as much. And even the new consoles nowadays, 120 FPS on PS5 and Xbox Series, whatever. So people nowadays have higher frames, better internet, they can play. Guys, I know your internet sucks, but I'm just telling you, it's so much better than what it used to be. Think Black Ops 1. So yeah, people are on high frames, high PC, 30, 90 billion, whatever. And people are just ready technologically for an advanced game. And I think this is why Call of Duty Vanguard suffered so badly, was because no one wants to go back to the past. Especially right now, I feel like we're not in that point to go back to the past. There was that jetpack era, and then we went to COD World War II or whatever it was. And I guess that was okay because it was kind of a while. But nowadays, with all the technological advances, I think people are ready for this game to come out, Advanced Warfare 2. I also think that people are getting bored of modern warfare, and that's not to say that it was a mistake to do that. I think obviously MW 2019 sold massively and people loved it, and that's when Warzone came out and people loved it. But I think modern warfare is just over. I guess, at least for now. People will definitely want to go back to it someday. Mouse and keyboard expands people's options to play. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy between, mouse and keyboard and controller, but I do believe that mouse and keyboard gives, other people more ways to play, I should say, like more access to experience better movement and etc. I also think people are bored of boots on the ground. I think people want advanced movement more than a slide cancel. Like, bro, what is that? And nowadays, I feel like there's just generally larger maps, especially with Warzone, and I feel like people want to get around faster. So Advanced Warfare 2, with the jetpacks and everything like that it would have, people are going to be able to get around the big maps faster. They're going to be, flying all over the place, and I think that's what people want nowadays, especially with their technological PCs and the big boy 4090s and the big boy stuff. I think people are going to want this more advanced movement. Also, I think that there's a new wave of younger players coming in, and I think that's a good thing for the franchise because, you obviously need to replace older players who stop playing with younger players, etc. So with those new players, I think, younger kids, they want more advanced movement. They are freaking good at the game, okay? I know you think you're still good, 30, drinking beer, eating pizza. You are not good playing on your 60-inch TV. Some of these kids are freaking cracked on their 280 hertz monitor, and they will shred you. And that's what they want to do. They want to be flying across the map. I think it's time. So to end the video, all in all, Advanced Warfare 2 will be the best COD game of all time because everything is aligning just correctly for it. And 2025, I think, is a good date for it, although I think people honestly want it sooner. The player base is ready for change. I think the player base wants more movement, with a faster movement within these larger maps, especially with Warzone. The player base loves customization. Obviously, that's how a lot of these game companies make their money now, just by in-game purchases, and some games are free and you just, customization. So I think if Sledgehammer with the Advanced Warfare customization brought that over to AW2, it's going to be fire. New technology infrastructure, like I said, I touched on, with better internet and better PCs and everything else, I think it'll make the experience much more enticing for people to play. And just imagine that game, I'm just thinking about it. So what are your thoughts on Advanced Warfare 2, and do you think it will crack the top 3 CODs of all time? Why or why not? This is Dizzy. I am Dizzy, and peace out. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the noti button, and this is video number 1. We're going to make it to video number 1 million one day, and hopefully you guys follow and subscribe. Peace out.